Hey guys, James, otherwise known as Advise here. This is a question and answers series 1 video. This was with mod Galkon, and in mid-June I decided that I would be making this series, and you guys had a few weeks on the SoulSplit forums to answer, so send me questions for Galkon to answer. So in this video I have obviously collected all your questions and filtered through them, decided what ones are worthy for him to answer, and obviously there are a few questions he did not want to answer, and I won't go into that. So yeah, basically I've sent him all the questions and he's come back with an answer for me. So yeah, I guess I'll get into it. So I started off with asking a few questions myself. A lot of these were just, I guess, frequently asked questions from the community for him, so I put those together and started off with those. I'll get into the personal questions later. So started off with asking him, this is one of the main questions, do you get paid as the developer? He said yes, I'm a full-time developer and I receive full-time payment. I then asked him, what did you work on before you came to SoulSplit? He said, before joining SoulSplit I was working on a project called Legacy, which was going to unite all private servers with one game client that could be customized to your liking. After presenting Pim with an offer regarding it, he wanted to just buy the client and hire me as a developer, and now I'm here. I then asked him, what is your ultimate plan for SoulSplit? He said, my ultimate plan for SoulSplit is simply to make us the best in every aspect possible. I want to have the best client, the best server, website, community. We're number one for a reason, but I want us to stay number one forever. I then asked, what do you have planned for the near future in a developer's point of view? He said, in the near future I plan on implementing my own clan chat and replacing the current systems with it, combining your account management panel clans with the clan chat interface. I will also be adding some customizable completionists and max capes. That'll be awesome to see. I then asked him a question that some of you may have seen in the updates. I said, you added the Jad pet, but you forgot to add a way of obtaining it. Do you plan on releasing a way to obtain it in the near future? He said yes. This is a cool little pet that I personally love, and I want to add a creative way of obtaining it, so it's a truly unique pet. I then asked, do you play SoulSplit yourself, or are you just a developer? He said, I'm a developer that works on the game with the view of a player kept in mind. I know that our players are the only reason we are successful, so I want to make you guys happy, but I also test the content before releasing it to you, and I try to be in-game active as well. I then asked him, what do you do outside of SoulSplit? Do you play any sports or do you have any hobbies? He said, yes, I'm actively in a band. I'm our vocalist and guitarist. I've been playing guitar for 7 years now. Programming was one of my hobbies, not just my job. So I also program personal projects in my free times as well. I don't play any sports, but I work out regularly and ride my bike a few miles a day. Other than that, I just hang out with friends now that it's summer. I live a pretty simple life. So that's all I had to ask Galkon myself. I'll now move on to the questions that the community asked. So these are the questions that people sent to me, and here are your answers basically. So I received a question from Zarite. He asked, will you be adding the bloom, otherwise known as particle effects? Galkon came back and said most likely no. Bloom effects are part of accelerated graphics. I would have to rewrite almost the entire game client just to support it, but that's not to say it's impossible. It's 11 PM asked 2 questions. Will you be adding customizable completionists and max capes? He said yes. I will be adding fully customizable capes with the working interface in the near future. He also asked, when will Castle Wars be fixed? He said Castle Wars is on our list of things we need to revamp. We're doing bug busting mode at the moment, so maybe that will be included. No promises though. Unique Wish asked, what is the most intriguing thing here at SoulSplit? He said, by far the community. Thousands of people, thousands of opinions, thousands of ideas. It's been a privilege to be such part of a thriving community. Ragelog asked, do you see the size of the community increasing or decreasing in the near future? He said, I see our community's population only increasing in the near future. We've had some difficulties since the launch of SoulSplit 2, but slowly and surely we've been making the game more and more fun, as well as playable for more and more players. Between the bug fixes and new content, I'm confident SoulSplit will reach its peak this summer. Me Pure asked, whatever happened to Soulspawn? He said, personally, I have no idea, I'm not a part of that development. Selbars asked, what are your previous experiences with other RuneScape private servers? What are your next projects on SoulSplit 2? He said, my previous experiences with other RuneScape private servers have been quite interesting. I've had many of my own projects such as Rune Limited, Rune Creation, Rune Light and Affliction. And my very first server was called Galkon's Pride. They were all learning experiences primarily, because they taught me what I needed to learn to get to this point. And he said my next project on SoulSplit 2 will be a clan chat, customizable capes, rewriting a lot of core content and continuous client performance updates. Zach L asked, how often do you get involved with the community? He said, I tried to get involved with the community in some way every day. I browse through the forums several hours a day, reading feedback, report threads, as well as suggestions and complaints. I'm actively part of the staff team on Skype as well, and I try to socialise with as many of you as I can. He also asked, what will you do 5 years from now? He said, in 5 years from now I honestly have no idea what I'll be doing. What I'd love to be doing is graduating college with a degree in software engineering or running my own company like Pim. Redwool33 asked, do you plan on fully coding next into having phases and minion spawning capabilities? He said, this is a great question because I've actually never thought about it. I've never seen how Next fully works before, so I didn't know what was different. It's something we can most likely look into in the future. Django69 asked, why did you come to SoulSplit? What did you find interesting here? He said, I joined SoulSplit because it's such a popular and thriving game and community. There's thousands of players and it's a constant learning experience for me, not only as a developer but as a player too. As I stated previously, I found varying opinions, ideas, and the people here are very, very interesting. ABCD Bangs asked, what got you started in Java coding, or rather, how did you get started? He said, in many ways I saw a RuneScape video on YouTube about RuneScape private servers, showing someone on the first Mopa client with the first Mopa server. I immediately downloaded everything and I was hooked. I played on a RuneScape private server on my own computer alone for hours, just spawning items and running around the server. In 2008 I joined the community Rune server and started picking up tutorials and such, learning as much as I could about everything. Eventually I got onto the client side of things in the most part. I found this most interesting because it was the visual representation of the game. Over the past 5 years I've been teaching myself through tutorials, Google and documentation, and good old-fashioned messaging around. I believe the best way to learn is hands-on, and there's nothing more hands-on than programming. So yeah, that was all the questions you guys asked. I'll leave a link to the thread about this in the description of this video for you who are watching it on YouTube. Otherwise you guys are obviously watching this on the forum. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I plan to make another one of these within the next few weeks, obviously with a new person, so I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on who you want me to interview next. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed and learnt a lot.